In this video, you will learn how to listen and subscribe to a podcast on Android. I'll first show you how to do it specifically for my show, and then shortly after show you how to do it for any other show that you're interested in. So let's get started. I've made it really easy for my listeners to find my show by going to my website, which is thepodcastplanner.com/podcast. Then you're taken to a page like this. You already see that you have quite a few options to choose from. And if you see the app that you're already used to and you're using this for listening to other podcasts, then it makes it very easy to just say, hey, I use Google Play Music. Let me just find the show on there and subscribe to it. So that's how this is the very easiest way to listen to the Podcast Planner podcast is just come here. And most Androids already come with the Google Play Music app. So I would highly suggest starting there. If the show is not there, with other shows, my show is listed on all of these platforms. But if your show that you're looking for is not searchable on Google Play Music, then you have other options. But I'll get into that shortly. So as you can see here, Google Play Music is already available on the phone. These other ones that you see here on the right side, those I had to install myself manually. But here you go back, you select Google Play Music, and it opens it up right away within the app. And this is where you can subscribe and listen to the show. Now going back, let's say I want TuneIn. Now like I said, I downloaded these apps here on the right side. I logged in. I think the ones that you have to log into is Stitcher, and I think TuneIn you don't have to, and I think Podcast Addict you don't have to. So there's that. But here I can just select on TuneIn, and it opens TuneIn right away, straight to the show. And this is where you can listen, favorite it. That would be a way of subscribing to the show so that you don't miss an episode. So I'll go back and say, well, I don't use TuneIn, but I use Stitcher for my podcast. Select Stitcher, and it opens up the show there in Stitcher, and you can subscribe, listen later, and all that other stuff. So let's go back. So to activate the Spreaker, which is a really great app, I highly suggest you checking out Spreaker. I'll go back to my website. I have quite a few windows there open. So I'll find Spreaker on here, select Spreaker, and then let's just go ahead and select Spreaker always. And there it goes. It takes you directly to the show, and this is where you can subscribe and do all that other good stuff here for the podcast. Now I'm going to go back. Now, let's say you don't see the podcast app that you use, but you still have an Android, but you haven't found the app that you're most used to. So you can go here to the second option where it says the Podcast Planner on Android. Select that, and it takes you to a page that looks like this. Once you see the logo there, just scroll down, and here you have quite a few options to choose from when it comes to a podcast listening app. Pocket Cast is a very popular one, but you do have to pay $3.99. That's not a bad deal because you can actually import the RSS feed of any podcast into there. And same goes for Podcast Addict. So that's really cool. And all that an RSS feed, very layman's way of describing it, is just another link with this code in it. But don't worry about the code. Just copy the link. So you can see here, it's the first option on this page where it says subscribe. I would copy the link that's in that banner and then import it into like Podcast Addict. So I would here click on the plus sign and select where it says RSS feed. And then that's where I would paste in the link, the RSS link there. And you could do the same thing for Pocket Cast. There's all these podcast apps. So that's how you do it for my show. Now, again, if you're looking for another show to add to your list, any of these apps for the most part will have it. If it's not listed in any of these apps, then reach out to that podcaster and let them know, hey, I would really appreciate if you can put your podcast here on TuneIn, Stitcher, Spreaker. Let them know because they're more than likely to do it for you because they want you to listen to the show. So in Google Play Music, you open that up and we'll start from the beginning. So there you have the home of Google Play Music. Click on the 3 bars there up on top. Select podcasts. And this is the very popular shows here up on front. And then just hit the search button and then type in the show that you're looking for. Let's say you were looking for, let's just select one from here. Quite a few interesting shows. Marc Maron's a pretty cool guy. So I'll click here and subscribe to his show and all that other stuff. So it's very similar to my process, except now I'm showing you how to do it for other shows. Same thing for Spreaker. You can go here. This is the main page, but click on the search bar and then type in the show that you're looking for, and it'll take you to a page like the one that I showed you for my show. Here for Stitcher, it takes you to the front page, but like all the other podcast apps that you've been seeing, they have a search icon there up on top. Clear out your previous search and then type in the name of the show. So I can type in Maron. Is that how you spell his name? And there he is. He is the first one available. So I can subscribe to the show. So that's the very basics of listening and subscribing to a show on Android. Here up on the right side are apps that you have to download in order to have them on your Android phone. But the Google Play Music app is already pre-installed. That is the native one. For the most part, you'll find just about any show. But again, reach out to your podcaster and let them know, hey, I would really love your show on so and such platform. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Thank you for watching.